So welcome back to variables. We've already talked about variables a little bit. When we went up to the motors and sensors area here, and when we gave things like our digital sensors names, like limit switch, and then we associated it with digital 1, or bump switch and associated it with digital 2, and so on, or motors, where we have right motor named here, and that's associated with port number 2. These are variables. And variables are something that can be stored in the robot's memory. So, examples of other variables are things like whole numbers, decimal numbers, or words. So, the first thing I need to do is for a variable, I need to define it. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down into my program here, and I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning up on my pseudocode. So I'll get rid of that stuff right there. And then I'm going to go into my program, and I'm also going to do the same thing with the not pseudocode, with the actual code right here. Now, I'm going to go to my task main just below it. And I'll fix my formatting here because I'm not sure that it's quite right. Anyways, so I'm just above the start motor now, and this is where I'm going to define the variable. And I'm going to put in int. This means to the computer that this variable is an integer. And I'm going to put in the name of the integer, and I'm going to call it motor count. And after that, I'm going to put in a semicolon. Now, the semicolon means to the robot that it's a statement. It's a one and done. That one line of code is everything that's necessary. Now, what I'm going to do is I need to next define the word motor count, and I'm going to make that equals to 0, and then I'm going to put in another semicolon. I typed a 1 there. Sorry. Backspace 0. And what that means to the robot is that the word motor count is going to be a whole number. So I've deleted all the extra stuff, I guess is the best way to put it. The next thing I want to do here, I'm going to go to the end of this and put in a space, is I want to create a while loop. So I can go up here and I can go to my control structures, and I'll get the while loop, and I'll drag that down in here. And I'm going to move this body up to inside of my while loop. And I'll backspace over the word body. And then I have to change this condition here in the while. So let's do that. So the condition is going to be motor count. T-O-R, oops, C-O-U-N-T, while motor count. And this is where I need to know how many times. We're going to bring this back to 3. So we want the sequence to repeat 3 times. So what I'll do is I'll go down here to where I was and change that. So where was I? Wait, while motor count, sorry, is less than 3. That's it. That's what I'm doing. I'm changing that condition there. So it says while the motor count is less than 3, I want you to go down and start the motor for 2 seconds, and then I want you to stop the motor for 2 seconds, and then you're going to come back up here, and you're going to see if motor count is less than 3. It is, because it's 0, right? We've got it set up here at 0. So it's going to come down, it's going to start the motor for 2 seconds and stop the motor for 2 seconds, and come back up here, and it's going to go, oh, it's less than 3, because it's still 0. So what we haven't done is we haven't triggered the counter in this program. So it keeps, because this value is always going to be 0 every time it gets to the end of this, it keeps coming up here and saying, oh, it's less than 3. Run the program again. So we've got an infinite loop. So it's not evolving. The motor count is not evolving. Now, the way you do that, the way you get it to evolve, is you hit the enter key here, and just below this wait, we put in motor count space, and this is going to be equals motor count space plus 1 semicolon. Motor count. I'm just making sure I got all my spelling correctly. Motor count. Looks like I do. Now, let's see. So I'm going to compile my program, and it says meaningless statement, no code generated. All right, let me check on that and see why that happened. Okay, I figured it out. It's not motor count plus 1. It's got to be the motor count is equal to motor count plus 1. So if I compile this now and download to the robot, what's going to happen here is I'm got a problem with my robot. I don't know exactly what's going on, but it's acting a little weird. So I'll stop this and I'll exit out of this. It does run the program correctly, so I'll show you this in a split second. Okay, so I'm back. I got the I've got my picture here a little bit bigger. I don't know why this thing is doing something really weird, but it's doing this message log. So I'm just gonna let it do its thing. I guess is the best way to put it. Oops, I gotta move this out of the way. I'm gonna hit start here. So it does it once, does it twice, does it the third time, and the program's finished. So that's how you use a variable to make your life a little bit easier.